Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today's video is a book tag, and this is an original book tag created by my friend Nicky at My Messy Bookshelf, and it is the Booktube Adventure Tag, and she tagged me in this, and I'm really happy because I really like the prompts, and so I'm excited to do it. But I myself as a child did not read the adventure books, but I did with my children. And once I discovered them, I thought, these are amazing. These are so great. And so I happened to be organizing my youngest bedroom recently and was pulling out books and ones that she was done with. And you know how you shift piles around and what do you keep and what do you not. And so anything that, you know, sentimental that they loved, I keep. And so these are the adventure books, and I just thought I could share them. The first one is What Should Danny Do? And this is elementary age. This is young, you know, but I mean, it could be up until now. She still enjoys it. She still talks about it fondly. But you know, it's about this little boy, and it's all based on his choices, and he can have a good day if he chooses. And so you get to the power to choose. You get to choose which one, what should Danny do? And so you can go to the different page numbers. And so of course we would have to read every possible variation. And she loved this book, and this really helped with pushing through, going through those phases of having bad days, having some anxiety about, you know, what happens when you make a bad choice, or these just really worked. I really worked for her. And then this is his cousin, Darla. So what should Darla do? So this was the next one that we got. Same idea, the power to choose. And so very good books, very good books. So sort of the adventure books, these are the younger ones, but then my older daughter got into these case closed. They're Mystery in the Mansion, Stolen from the Studio, and Haunting at the Hotel. And she absolutely loved these. These were ones that, like, once we got the first one, we were waiting for the next one to come out. We were waiting for the third one to come out. There's puzzles, there's mysteries, but it's, you know, go to this page if you can figure out. There was, like, you know, little codes that you would have to decipher and all this kind of stuff. But you pick your path and you crack the case. I think these are fantastic and wonderful and so fun and interactive and engaging. And I wish I read them as a kid, but I did get to enjoy them through my children. So I just thought I would share these ones in particular with these as adventure books, since I love this tag that Nicky created. So thank you for tagging me. So the first prompt is choose your adventure. When you started your channel, did you have a specific niche in mind? And I did. I really wanted to combine book reading, book reviews, book recommendations with book crafts. Quite literally pages from books, making things from book pages, and using that in crafts. I absolutely love paper crafts. And I'm obsessed with books. Like I'm a book person. I'm a tangible touch the book. I will read audiobooks. I like and I understand the convenience of Kindles, but I'm a very tactile person. And so I like books, and I'll decorate with them. I'll use them. And so I was trying to combine those things for my channel. And then of course, I love to walk outside. So it was like all of these hobbies I was trying to combine. So it was the book reading, book crafts, and then walking. So that was where the read with me, walk with me came from. So that was sort of a wide net niche, because that's really sort of an oxymoron, because a niche is where you kind of zero in and you have this little thing. So sort of in a broad sense, but that was my thought process. That was the niche I was going for, was a combination of book-ish things. Maybe that's the niche, bookish things. So that was prompt number one. Prompt number 2, choose your character. When you started your channel, did your true personality shine through? Do you think it does now? So when I first started, I basically hid. I did not show myself. And so did my true personality shine through? Sort of, because I'm shy. So yeah, I guess so. And then as I decided to, film myself and everything, I think just like anybody, that initial nervous, awkward talking to a camera and getting used to that process, it's always a little awkward at first. But I think my personality comes through. I think it does. One thing I learned about myself in editing and watching these videos and watching after I do it was that I speak in incomplete sentences. I would start a thought, pause, not finish it, start saying something else, and so I didn't like that, and I thought, well, that's irritating. Complete the thought, say everything. And so I also know that I can be very expressive, my face, my hands, I know that about myself. And so I think in my mind, I'm having the full thought, and some of it is my face, some of it is my hands, and then some of it is just I'm thinking it and I don't actually say. So as the process was going along, I was like, finish the thought. So I'm working on that, and I feel like I am doing better with it. I feel like I'm also working on it in my everyday interaction communication. Finish the sentence, say the whole thought. So that's something I learned about myself watching these videos. But yeah, so I think that comes across, that comes through in my videos. I think my true personality, yes. Choose your companions. Who are some bookish companions you remember from the early days of your journey? Can be booktubers or non-booktubers. So I have been a very, very slow growing channel. And I've had some back and forth communications or conversations, but very brief. And I do remember years ago when I was just watching Booktube. You don't really know how it all works. And so I would be watching, never commented, never interacted, and just didn't realize that, you should, that you should say hi. You should, because I commented on one of Nicky's videos, like it is a one-sided conversation. If we never get anything back, of course you want good feedback, you want positive, you want like nice interactions. But sometimes just having that conversation, it's supposed to go two ways. So it is, like sometimes it can be a little unnerving because you're not sure how it's landing with people. You're not sure if you're not getting that feedback. So in the beginning, it was very slow as far as actual conversations. But I really started interacting with other booktubers, and so there was Elaine from Cobalt Dragon. She has always been so warm and welcoming and supportive and amazing in chatting with me and reactions and everything. So she's been wonderful. And of course, I became friends with Nicky. We did our first buddy read, and so that was really fun. And I feel like there's a lot of crossover in the books that we like, that we read. So that makes it fun because you have that thing in common. But then there's a lot of books that she'll talk about that I've never heard of. So that's also very fun and interesting because you do get those other like, oh, I would never have known that was out there, or also way back in the beginning, Pat with Book Chat with Pat. She's always been wonderful and positive and responsive. Mark with Elvis, Book Time with Elvis, I think. You know, he was one of the ones that I watched his videos in the very beginning before I actually started and felt encouraged to join BookTube. So it's, you know, it's been little spatterings here and there, but I would say mostly BookTubers. Yeah. And okay, so prompt number 4. The quest. Choose one or all 3 of the following obstacles. The comparison curse. How do you handle comparing your channel to others? So I think that it can be very overwhelming just in itself. And when you watch other booktubers, I think it's natural to compare or think, should I be doing that? Or, and so whenever that thought, should I be doing that, comes into my head, I will pull myself back a little bit because I can only do what I can do. I can only do what my schedule allows. And that's where it becomes that overwhelming, like, oh, I should be doing that, or, you know, and it's just, and it becomes too much. So I do feel it every once in a while, and I try to self-regulate that. And like, if, you know, because I just want to enjoy their videos. I just want to, you know, comment and be like, that's so great, I love it. Instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, I should be doing that. Because nobody's saying that you should be doing that. And then it was the algorithm dragon. What has been your biggest frustration with growth, views, or consistency? And I would say growth. And this is where I go back to, I'm a little slow and steady turtle growing. It's not frustrating because I really don't want to be huge, because I don't think that you can manage that. I don't think I can manage that. And so I wouldn't say that I'm frustrated with it, but that's where probably, and it all goes together. The views, the growth, you know, when it's low, it's all low. And so, but I guess that would be the biggest frustration, I guess. And then the self-doubt monster. What insecurity have you had to battle as a creator? And I think just that, and it's kind of partly with the comparing yourself to somebody else, because sometimes you feel like, well, who am I? What do I know? Like, I'm coming on here and I'm reviewing these books. I'm saying, you know, but it's so subjective that, it's okay to have an opinion about a book and to share that opinion, and somebody can take it and do what they want with it. They can then go read the book and see if they feel the same way, or they could maybe say, oh, well, she hated it for this particular reason, and I know that would bother me, and so I'm not going to read it. But it's human connection. It's human interaction through video, through, you know, online. So that feeling of just, am I qualified for this? Probably not. Do I know what I'm talking about? You know, sometimes you listen to other booktubers review a book and they have these very succinct, very pointed reasons for why they like it, why they don't, and they'll use these words, this particular trope is overused, or this particular, you know, book is, you know, and the categories and they just have it so organized, and I'm like, I just liked this book. So some of that's where some of those insecurities come in, where you're just kind of like, oh, I'm stepping out here, I'm giving my opinion, and am I qualified to give my opinion? You know. So number 5, the struggle. Was there a moment you considered quitting? What kept you going? I don't know if there was a moment that I thought about quitting. I really, once I start something, I really like to see it through. I kind of feel like you have to push through the hard parts. And I think maybe it's not that I think about quitting, but I'll sort of get what's the word? Where you're deterred, you're discouraged, when I feel discouraged. And then I'll get a comment, I'll get a positive interaction where somebody says, oh, I really like this video, or that was great, or I can't wait to see your other videos, you know, or something. And you're like, oh, okay. And so I think more, not thinking about quitting, but maybe feeling discouraged. Yes. Feeling like you could go away and nobody would notice and nobody's really watching anyway, that kind of thing. So yeah. And then the next prompt is growth and fulfillment. Do you feel the journey has been worth it? Have you grown as a reader, a booktuber, a person? Yes, yes, and yes. Definitely feel like it's worth it. I really enjoy doing this because, again, it sort of brings all of these things that I love to one platform, one area. And I love the reading. I love talking about the books. I love the book crafts. I love meeting people and making friends and having books in common. And like I said, I discovered that I speak in incomplete sentences, and that was not just a video thing, that was an all the time thing. And so you learn how to step out of your comfort zone. You learn how to improve areas that you find that need improving. And so that's personal growth. And so I think it's great. And I think just trying something new, trying something different, something scary is always a good thing. It's always a good thing. So it is definitely well worth it. And so far only met wonderful people that I really am happy to know. So very much. And then I will tag some others that I have not seen do this yet. But thank you, Nicky, for tagging me. And I'm so excited to keep going with Booktube. Yes, it's been a wonderful experience. So thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll be reading.